book, holy book of other religion comes to you, don't disrespect it. With full amount of honor, give it to the person of that religion. So this is where the king stood. I can go on and on, but basic point is that kings were doing this for the sake of expansion of their territories. So today, the way history has been taught here, taught by parallel streams. Initially, this was not there in the schools. Now it is being brought into the school. But I hope you can understand what is the parallel streams. Those who meet daily, regularly in the shakhas, Namaste, Sadavastale, Vasramume, and what type of stories they tell. Oh, evil Muslim kings, they plundered, they tortured Hindu women, they did this and that. So that is a diet on which those people are brought up with such a type of history. Now anyway, this communalism issue, how does it come to India? Communalism issue comes to India. So first point I make clear that communalism is not a question of era of kingdoms. It begins in the colonial period. Now before I go to colonial period, in colonial period I'll need a lot of your help if you don't mind. Colonial period, my first simple question is this. When did we get our independence? Too simple a question, huh? 1947. You agree? Thank you very much. Why I ask this question, I am getting quite confused from last year or two because one very big actress rather, she said we got independence in 2014. Since that time I am very confused and I keep asking everybody, so what is slavery of the country? What is slavery of the country? Our Prime Minister in this last speech from Red Fort, he said we were slave from 1200 years. Now I was again, I keep getting shocked, that's why my BP always is on the higher side. So I get shocked. We were slaves from 1200 years? What is slavery? Slavery of the country, two criteria. One, our wealth is plundered out. Now tell me, Babar, Akbar, Aurangzeb, the kings whom they want us to hate, the kings who they want us to hate, did they take away the wealth from here? They lived here, died here, and of course exploited and had a luxurious life like most of the kings. Second thing, when the instruction of the rulers, they are coming from outside. So where were the instructions of this Muslim thing coming? Kabul, Kandahar, Makkah, Medina are from nowhere? Nowhere. They were living here, dying here, ruling on their own. And what happened during the British period? So number one, why did British come here? They did not come here for picnic, I am clear of that. Why did they come here? Business, trade. Did they stop at trade? After trade, what they did? They ruled the country. And with ruling, what did they do? They took away our wealth. They plundered our wealth. And this plundering of wealth, brilliantly explained in that book by Shashi Tharoor, The Dark Era of Empire. Excellent. It is not only, we think only that they took our Kohinoor diamond. Kohinoor diamond is insignificant to the type of wealth which they took away. Now, here how communalism comes in. Now, they are ruling here. They are plundering our wealth. So they have to bring some changes which suit them, which also are in tune with the time. So we build up the picture. They have to take away the wealth, for example, from Hyderabad to London. So from Hyderabad to, first where will they take away the things to? Bombay. Bombay is the nearest port, or there is some other port? Anyway, let's take Bombay. Let's go to Bombay. So how was things being transported before the British came? Which is a poor bullock cart. So in place of bullock cart they brought railways. Fast transport, number one. Number two, British Viceroy is sitting in Calcutta. He has to send letters to his officers. Who were carrying letters before the British came? Pigeons. Excellent. But pigeons, pigeons were carrying the letters, but somehow they were not carrying any letters except love letters. So pigeons don't depend on pigeons. They were horse riders also, but they said pigeons are not going to carry our letters, horse riders are very slow, so they brought in telephone, telegraph, postal system. So first was rail, now comes in mail. The third is they bring in modern education. Good job, modern education. And modern education, along with modern education, comes in modern judiciary. And where do people land up where the judiciary gives the punishment? Jail, so simple. So what are the three changes? Rail, mail and jail. Okay. Now let me focus a bit on education. Education was the most transforming thing during colonial period. It not only built a new middle class, but it also was taken to Dalits and women. Earlier it was forbidden for Dalits and women to have education. Now Jyotirao Phule comes in. He starts schools for Dalits, and his wife Savitribai Phule opens the schools for girls. Good or bad? Good. And you know on what ground she was opposed? She was opposed on the ground that you are doing something against our religion. Can you believe it? That you are opening school for girls, this is against our religion. And poor women, she and her colleague Fatima Sheikh, when they were going to school, they were carrying extra clothes with them. They were carrying, please note, they were carrying extra clothes. Why? Did they also had the habit of changing clothes frequently like our Prime Minister? Then why they were carrying extra clothes? Mudslinging. People were saying, hey, you are doing against our religion. Here is cow dung, here is mud and stones. That's why they had to change their clothes, they had to carry. So these 5 changes make the modern India. What? 1, railway. Number 2, communication. Third, this new judiciary, education. And then education to Dalits, education to women. Please remember, this will come back. The foundation of communalism comes in from the change people who are opposing these changes. Now, who are supporting these changes? Now, from these changes emerge 3 new classes. Class, in this hall, I don't have to explain. Class is the type of people who do similar type of work. In this hall, at least I don't have to explain. Others I have to explain clearly. Okay. So 3 new classes emerge. Number 1, businessman, industrialist, Tata, Birla, Bajaj, Singhania, Dalmia. Working class. And number 3, modern educated classes. In modern educated classes, add Dalits and women also. These are the 3 classes which we call rising classes. What happens to the old rulers? Raja, Nawab, Zamindar, Jagirdar. They don't disappear. This is not France, where the new bourgeois revolution, industrialist class, it wipes away the old feudal society. So the new classes come up, old classes continue, old rulers come in. And here, if you want to understand secularism, this is the key. This is the key. From the rising group come 3 type of organizations. From the declining rulers again come 3 type of organizations. And I will request you to concentrate on that pattern of names. Don't ask me, William Shakespeare says what is in the name. Don't ask me that. Just focus on the names. So from the rising groups, there are 3 type of organizations. From the declining groups, there are 3 type of organizations. Try to see the name. So from the rising group, the first person, try to name the organizations. I'll appreciate your help. First person is Shahid-e-Azam Bhagat Singh. What is the name of the organization? HSRA. Full form, Hindustan Socialist Republican Association. Very good. Now second is Bhimrao Babasaheb Ambedkar. Forms many organizations and it culminates in an organization called Republican Party of India. And the third group which comes up, which leads the national movement, instead of 1 name, I am taking 4 names. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, Annie Besant, Sardar Baldev Singh, and Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. Name of the organization? Congress. Why you are so miser? Take the full name. Indian National Congress. I am not seeking vote for that party, don't worry about that. Giving votes is your choice. What you do in 2024 is your choice. I'll leave it to that. But Indian National Congress. So have you noticed the name? Hindustan Socialist Republican Association, Republican Party of India, Indian National Congress. Now here, from the landlords, Rajas, Nawabs, initially they come together to form an organization called United India Patriotic Association. And these are equal and opposite processes. Now Hindu communalists these days are trying to say, oh, Muslims started it first. But these are simultaneous processes, like for United India Patriotic Association, on one side there is Raja Shiv Prasad of Kashi, other side there was Nawab of Dhaka. At the same time there was Sir Syed Ahmad. And United India Patriotic Association, British succeeded in splitting it. First into Muslim League and then into another organization, I'll come to that. So three organizations we saw here. See the pattern of name? Now here, from this group, initially only Raja, Nawab, Zamidar, Jagirdars are there. Later on, some educated people, elite people join them. And three names again here are proper. One is Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Name of the party? Muslim League, very good. Then there is a second person who, of course, you can guess, who was there in Andaman jails. He apologized repeatedly. He was released, he was given a pension of rupees 60 and he pledged his loyalty to the British. What was his name? Savarkar. What party Savarkar joined after 1937? Hindu Mahasabha. Muslim League. Hindu Mahasabha. Muslim League talked of Muslim nation. Hindu Mahasabha talked of Hindu nation. And based on this Hindu nation came up another organization in 1925. Mocking that organization, laughing at that organization, describing that organization, very easy. But confronting that organization, extremely difficult. Can you guess the name? Earlier they were wearing half pants, now they are promoted to full pants. What's the name? RSS, Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh. Okay? So, can you make the difference? Here, there is all the people. Whole nation is there. Here there is only Hindu or a Muslim. Politics under the cover of religion. And they come from Nawabs and Rajas, both. Same, there is no difference. Actually I call them thick as thieves. And their values, what is the difference between values of these, values of these? For that, I'll present to you from this side, Bhimrao Babasaheb Ambedkar. I can take anybody. But just to understand, because India is not France, so here liberty I associate more with Bhagat Singh. Liberty I associate with Bhagat Singh. Equality I associate more with Ambedkar. And fraternity I associate with Gandhi. That's my way of understanding. I'm not a social scientist, but still I try to dabble into my own way of understanding it. So these are the three values from this side. So how do I see the difference? From this side I pick up Ambedkar. From this side I pick up K. Sudarshan. Now of course even Prime Minister's advisor, what is his name, that Vivek Devroy? He himself is saying I throw away this constitution, but I am an old fashioned person, so I am sticking to K. Sudarshan, about whom I wrote an article which is now not available even with me. So K. Sudarshan, and what are the difference? Ambedkar for social equality tries to have agitations like Kalaram temple. That you call we Dalits as Hindus, permit us to come to temples? Not allowed. You call Dalits as Hindus, we are also human beings. Animals are drinking water from the ponds, permit us also, not allowed. And then he burns a book. What is that book? What he must have thought while burning Manusmriti? While burning Manusmriti, he must have thought, Manusmriti gives the provisions of slavery for Shudras and women. Manusmriti gives the provision of slavery from Shudras and women. I do not accept it. So I am getting this book burned. Believe me you, any fundamentalism, Christian fundamentalism, Islamic fundamentalism, Buddhist fundamentalism in Sri Lanka and Myanmar. Don't be under confusion that there is no fundamentalism in the name of Buddhism. Buddhism also equal amount of fundamental. and every fundamentalism believes in secondary status, secondary hierarchy for workers, Dalits in another way, and women. I'll come to that. There are not too many women in the hall, but still I will explain that their primary agenda is to subjugate the rights of Dalits, workers, women, Adivasi, etc. That is the basic point. So Ambedkar here burns the Manusmriti. Same Ambedkar goes on to become the chief architect of India's constitution, which is now under big threat unless you are able to defeat this party in 2024. It is under real threat. Believe me, you, because the closest advisor of Prime Minister is talking about it openly without any shame. So here is Ambedkar. What is he doing? Burning Manusmriti and building up Indian constitution. And here earlier in 2000, I built this formulation in my mind. We stuck to this, and that formulation was about K. Sudarshan. Have you heard the name of K. Sudarshan? RSS, you have heard. Good. Some have not heard, no? Don't worry. If you have not heard such name, that's also okay. Okay. So K. Sudarshan, what does he do? He becomes Sarasangh Chalak, the chief supremo of RSS, and he says, Indian constitution based on Western values. Videshi मूल्यों पे बना है. Throw it away and bring a constitution based on Indian holy books. Indian holy books. Which is that Indian holy book which gives the values of society? Manu Smriti. But before I go to this comparison of Ambedkar and K. Sudarshan, K. Sudarshan is right at one play. He says, ना ये भारतीय संविधान, थोड़ा सा हिंदी, भारतीय संविधान विदेशी मूल्यों पे बना है, अपनी देशी किताब ले आओ. I want to ask you, these values of liberty, equality, fraternity, they belong to the West or to the whole humanity? Whole humanity. But he is saying they are based on the Western values. But he is a bit confused actually. He was saying something else. I realized that. वो हिंदी में बोलता हूँ कि एक देशी विदेशी होता है कुछ. वो कुछ शाम को लेते हैं ना कुछ. हाँ वो होता है. बाकी everything as far as science and our values are concerned, they are all universal. But of course, poor fellow, he got confused and he said, ये विदेशी है, इसको फेंक दो वगैरह वगैरह. So friends, this is where communalism comes in. Now, British, in order to rule this country, had already implemented policy of divide and rule. Divide and rule. And after 1857, you must be knowing Mangal Pandey on one side, Bahadur Shah Zafar, Begum Hazrat Mahal, Jhansi Ki Rani, Hindu Muslims fighting against British. British throne got shaken, and then British intensifying their policy of divide and rule. And what do they select for divide and rule? Religion. What are the major dividing points? Hindus, Muslims. Actually, Hindus and Muslims have been closely integrated into each other. Our culture, religious traditions, you see everything, clothes. See, culture is not a static entity. Culture is like a flowing river. There is nothing like native and foreign. I ask a simple question. Of course, Christians, poor fellows, 2.3%, so we don't discuss them, but they are also under attack. But I also, even Christians have contributed some small thing which all of us probably follow. Hey, hello, do we celebrate birthdays? Yeah. And what do we do on that day? Good. Just remember from where it comes. Anyway, and my own experience, this intermixing, let's talk of food. Our closest thing to our heart, food. So I give my own example now. I think 5-6 years ago, I had the chance of living in this very city for 6 to 8 months. And that time I was fond of something, my weight also went up. Can you guess what is that? Biryani. And from where did biryani came? Biryani had come from Iran. It came from Iran. We added more spices, made it more tasty and called it biryani. No problem. Similarly, you can talk of jalebi, gulab jamun and all mouth-watering sweets coming from West. Indian mangoes going to all over the world. So this is a interaction, cultural interaction. In the field of music, you see Hindi film music. I don't know how much you know, but my generation, there was a BBC survey of Hindi film bhajans, top 10 Hindi film bhajans, and what they found out, you know, out of those 10 bhajans, 7 of them were written by Sahir Ludhianvi and Shakil Badayuni. 6 of them were sung by Muhammad Rafi and 7 of them were composed by Naushad Ali. One of the best example I give you, my favorite song was that Man Tarpat Hari Darshan Ko Aaj. Of course, this is my weakness. Hindi, old classic films and classic film song, my main outlet. That day again I was seeing film Baiju Bawra, and when having tears in the eyes, I heard this film Baiju Bawra, Man Tarpat Hari Darshan Ko Aaj, written by Shakil Badayuni, sung by Muhammad Rafi, composed by Naushad Ali. This is my India where these boundaries don't matter. And similarly, when I see the Bhakti tradition saints, Hindus also follow them, Muslims also follow them. You see Dargah, Ajmer Dargah, all Dargahs you see, Hindus also going, Muslims also going. Of course, they have changed their character and all that. So Indian culture is a mixed culture. So here, 3 versions of history came in. One is where Muslims are seen as aliens, and Muslim communal historiography presents Hindus as weak rulers, so Muslims were ruling. Believe me, you, in Pakistani textbooks, Hindus are so much demonized that I read one story by Veer Sanghvi that one Indian diplomat had gone to see his Pakistani counterpart. They were friends. And that Pakistani diplomat's friend's daughter was a young girl studying in a school. So when he introduced this Indian diplomat to her daughter, he said, uncle is from India, he is a Hindu, he has come to see me, he is a good friend of mine. Girl, rather than bothering that he is a friend of her father, she started abusing Hindus' textbooks. This is what our textbooks are doing, because of which that Trapta Tyagi, it is not a surprise. Only we are coming to know it. When we teach these things to our children, hatred is a natural corollary of that, and this hatred seeps it like that. Anyway, so this, on one side, the national streams, my 3 representatives, Bhagat Singh, Ambedkar, Gandhi, they talked of secularism. Secularism is in every pore of Bhagat Singh, Gandhi, Ambedkar. And communalism is the central point for Muslim League, Hindu Mahasabha and RSS. And then of course I will say Muslim League, I told you, came up in particular circumstances when their power is declining. Hindu Mahasabha came up again because of Hindu Rajas. Now, where most interesting is that all these 3 formations, now you can understand my sign language. What are these 3? Muslim League, Hindu Mahasabha, RSS. They did not contribute anything to the formation of modern India. Kept aloof from freedom movement. Kept criticizing freedom movement. Now they say, hey, what did Gandhi do for Bhagat Singh? I want to ask them, what did you do? What did you do when he was being hung? Gandhi wrote 2 letters to Lord Irwin. Gandhi passed a resolution in 1931 Karachi Congress that what you have done to Bhagat Singh is wrong. So they are spreading it. They will spread, hey, this Bhagat Singh, Ambedkar and Gandhi, lot of differences. Excellent, no problem. But what is the problem? Big leaders are going to have differences. India is a vast country. Gandhi's primary goal was to free from colonial power. Ambedkar was focusing more on Dalits' rights. Both are right. So some compromise in the national movement have to be there. But this is what they build up their narrative on, to defame the national movement. While Gandhi, then Netaji Bose and Gandhi, Gandhi did lot of injustice to Subhash Chandra Bose. Arey Baba, what were you doing when Subhash Chandra Bose was raising Indian National Army and fighting against British? You were supporting British. Actually, you were fighting against Subhash Chandra Bose. And what did Subhash Chandra Bose talk about Mahatma Gandhi? He said, he is father of the nation. Who said that? Subhash Chandra Bose. And whom did Subhash Chandra Bose write his first letter to, first address while forming Azad Hind Fauj? He addresses it to Mahatma Gandhi. He says, I seek your blessings, father of the nation. That is Subhash Chandra Bose. And in 1945, there is a meeting of Subhash Chandra Bose and Gandhi. I read about it, so I'll tell you. Both of them, Gandhi says, your path is different. I don't agree with you. But if your path wins us the freedom, I will be the first person to congratulate you. This is what those people say. And here they are now trying to say, hey, this Gandhi did injustice to Bhagat Singh, injustice to this. And then Sardar Patel, Nehru. Sardar Patel should have become the first Prime Minister of the country. Nehru, what is this? Nehru has ruined the thing. I'll come to Nehru in a bit later. But Sardar Patel writes in a letter, Nehru forms the cabinet. He writes a letter to Sardar Patel. Sardar Patel was elder to him in age by 15 years. So he said, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, I am inviting you to join my cabinet. And Sardar Patel writes a sort of a affectionate, angry letter. Affectionate, angry letter. Saying, what is this you are inviting me formally? You know that I am always with you. Till my last breath, I will be supporting you. You are my younger brother and you are my leader. Because both of us have learned our politics sitting on the feet of that great teacher called Mahatma Gandhi. So this was the relation. Today they are trying to spread. Anyway, coming back to RSS. Let's not leave RSS. At least understand. If you can't fight, at least understand it. How does RSS comes in? Now, society is changing. And Gandhi comes into the picture and he converts the anti-colonial struggle into a mass movement. Please know, India's mass movement has been the greatest ever mass movement in the world. With all negative points of Mahatma Gandhi keeping aside, it is the greatest ever mass movement in the world. Now, 1920, average people come into the movement. And in 1920s also, Maharashtra, Vidarbha area, Vidarbha, you know, Nagpur? Nagpur, where the head office of that organization is there? How? Khaki shorts? Okay. No, sorry, brown pants now. I'm an old man getting a lot of problems with my brain. Anyway, so in Nagpur area, Dalits launched a movement against landlords and priests. If you want to learn a word of the feudal society, foundation of the feudal society is alliance between landlord and the priest. Try to learn a word from me if you want, sorry for that. And there is a word in our Maharashtra called Shetji Bhattaji. Lovely word. Shetji means landlord, Bhattaji means priest. So the movement was launched against landlords and priests called non-Brahmin movement. So on one side, average people are coming into the politics. So far, Brahminical idea is that only elite are there for politics. What is this average people, workers, women and Dalits, they are coming into the social movement. And on the top of it, Dalits are struggling for their rights. They are talking against the power of landlords and we the Brahmins. So that time, 5 Chitta Pavan Brahmins. Sorry, this Sanskrit word Chitta Pavan, you know what is Chitta Pavan? Chitta Pavan means those heart is 24 karat pure. Impurity is not allowed. So they form this organization called Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh. And Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh, believe me friends, is very simple to follow. That's why they are rising. That's why our comrades have a problem. With comrades, what is the problem? You want to come to our party. Have you read Communist Manifesto? Have you read 3 volumes of Capital? 4 volumes of Surplus Value? 26 volumes of Lenin's collected works? And so many volumes of Stalin's work? After that you come and see us. RSS, no problem. Come. We are a Hindu nation.